It's where all the cool kids go. The friendly info will show you around. We reward him with the fresh souls of our customers. Shadows, t-shirts, plenty tees, and so much more. Tags on deck, horror shop you will never want to leave. Your friendly info will show you around. We reward him with the fresh souls of our customers. Candles, t-shirts, blended teas, and so much more. Decks on deck, horror shop you will never want to leave.
Hanging around with Dick. So many movies, which one to pick? Exploitation overload, crazy comedies, kung fu fun, horror by the pound. Hanging around with Dick. So many movies, which one will you pick? Hanging around with Dick. So many movies, which one will you pick? Will you pick?
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of Dick's Picks. Here in a little bit, we're going to be talking about Snake Fist Fighter and the Bull Buster. And you may be intrigued by these, you may not be. Hopefully, you will want to seek these out after you hear me talk about them. But before we get to that, I want to get a little housekeeping stuff out of the way. The results of the poll are in for the March 22nd and 23rd. Hey, Blissful watch along films chosen by you guys and gals out there that voted. Thank you once again for voting in the polls. So Saturday, March 22nd's watch along movie will be Terror at 10 Killer. Sunday's watch along movie will be Pieces. And I had said originally I was going to try the 9 o'clock time slot, and I was like, well, you know, when Hope and I did the Terrifier 3 and we did it at 7 p.m. Eastern time, the numbers are still climbing on the views for it. It's over 400. So I thought, well, why don't I just do the 7 o'clock time slot? There is a new poll up, and I noticed several of you guys and gals have already started voting. Thank you once again for voting in the new poll, which will not take place until April, the beginning of April. I think it's like April 5th and 6th. Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. And Blissful, while you're on here, I just want to tell you, I know I owe you a message. I've got to listen to your message that you sent me like a day ago. And I forgot to change my font here. So I think I'm the only one that it matters if I change the font or not. So there's not going to be a Friday Foolish. Thanks, Blissful, for understanding. There's not going to be a Friday Foolish because my brain was somewhere else. And Candace and Chris are going to Horror Hound this weekend. So Candace, because of that, will not be able to be with me for Friday Foolish. I don't want to do, she said I could do Friday Foolish by myself if I wanted to, but Friday Foolish is me and Candace's show. And I like to have her on there. Um, and so we're just going to delay it another week. And hopefully, if everything goes well, the following Friday, Candace and I will be able to do our Friday Foolish show. So it'll be the return of Friday Foolish. I've got a cannon fodder coming up tomorrow night. It's probably going to be around 9 or 10 o'clock before I do it. Because I'm kind of enjoying these late ones. It gives me more time to be prepared and all of that good stuff. So, got another cannon fodder coming up. Got another They're All Messed Up coming up on Thursday. And I may try to throw the premiere episode of Movie Roulette in on Friday in lieu of Friday Foolish. So, got a lot of stuff coming up for the remainder of the week into the weekend. So let's all get excited about that. And I hope you liked the new Dick's Picks intro song. I've gotten really into creating my own original songs for stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. And let's get to these movies. So the first movie is Snake Fist Fighter, which is a martial arts movie that came out in 1973. It's also known as 10 Fingers of Death. And I think there's another couple of titles for it that I'm just can't remember. But I think it was Jackie Chan's first starring role. But this movie doesn't get a whole lot of love. Steve, I know, was looking up some information on it. And hey, James. He was looking up some information. A lot of people said it wasn't a real good movie, but it wasn't the best martial arts movie I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't the worst. And so the plot of this, there's a young kid, Jackie, who grows up to be Jackie Chan. But when we start out, he's a young kid and he wants to learn how to fight, like he sees other people, taking classes and learning to fight. And I think this teacher is a little mean to this kid. He's like, if you want to learn how to do this correctly, you're going to have to pay me and you're going to have to go, get some money from your father. And he's like, well, my father doesn't want me to learn how to fight, and so anyways, so the kid runs into a beggar in the woods. And so you wouldn't think that a beggar would know how to do kung fu or any kind of martial arts. But he does. He does know how to do it. And so he teaches young Jackie kung fu because Jackie he can't afford to have a teacher actually teach him the kung fu in a class. So he grows up, and then it's Jackie Chan, and he works as a waiter, and he ends up, because he was taught how to do kung fu when he was a kid, he is able to fight men from the crime syndicate in town. So he kind of saves everybody. And I believe he's working in his uncle's restaurant. That's where he's a waiter. So I thought it was nice to see a young Jackie Chan kind of getting his feet wet in this movie. Um, I honestly did not think that it was that bad of a movie. It was enjoyable for me anyway, and I could see myself going back and watching it again. It did have an English dub on it, which was awesome. We're going to get to the Bull Buster here, which was which was a whole different animal. Um, but I just honestly, like I said, I enjoyed it. I would like to go back and watch it again here very soon. Um, so that is Snake Fist Fighter, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a rating. You guys and gals might be a little surprised by this, but actually, as far as a martial arts movie, I give it 4 Deadites out of 5. I honestly did not think it was that bad. I thought it was fun, in fact. So that is Snake Fist Fighter. And so let's get to this second movie, which is the Bull Buster, which I didn't know what to think about the Bull Buster, what it could be about, you know. But it's a action comedy basically, and it's a buddy comedy, not a buddy cop movie, but a buddy comedy. So you have uh, Paul Smith in this, and he has a what's described as a scrappy little guy as a friend, a real skinny dude. And anybody that's seen Paul Smith in movies knows Paul Smith is a little bit of a bigger fellow. So, but here's the thing about this. I found it on YouTube, and I thought it might have the auto-generated subtitles at best because it's an Israeli Italian co-production. This one also came out in 1973. It's PG, so there's not, a whole lot of violence. I mean, we have people punching each other and stuff like that, and having, throwing food on each other and all that. So I really liked you spray Lysol in the chat area, Blissful. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um, but anyway, so you have these guys, well, which by the way, there were no even auto generated subtitles. Me and Steve, neither one of us could find an English dub for this movie. So I was like, well, I guess I gotta, I've already got this on the roster for Dick's Picks. So I've got to, I got to try to get some sense out of it. And it actually, even though there was no English dub, there were no subtitles that I was able to read, I was able to figure out what was going on. So you have these two guys, one who is played by Paul Smith, that they get in some trouble and get fired from their jobs. And so they end up in Tel Aviv, and they get new jobs. They set up residence in an apartment building. And Paul Smith's character of Shamil kind of leaves his girlfriend behind, but she eventually comes to visit him. And his buddy catches a girl. Remember, this is early 70s, and she's been over trying to work on her car, and you can almost see up her skirt. And, guys are guys. And I found that funny. It was kind of like a sex comedy like thing. So he's eyeing her, and they go up and they talk to her, and they fix her car. He and Shamil fix her car, and then they go home with her, and then Shamil's friend thinks that he's going to get to go in there and rendezvous with her, I guess. And she just it's kind of comedic, shuts the door in his face, and Shamil just laughs and laughs and laughs. And so when the local, like, asshole basically sees him, sees Shamil and his buddy mixing with the girl that he wants to be with, and she doesn't want anything to do with him because he's an asshole. So he has a bunch of buddies that try to beat Shamil and his friend up, and they do a number on his friend, but Shamil, like I said, is played by Paul Smith, so they ain't doing nothing to Paul Smith, right? So it's a series of adventures basically that these two guys go on in Tel Aviv, and I really, really, really enjoyed this. And if anybody ever finds an English dub of it, um, I would love to be able to, watch it. And I think one of the reasons why they call it the Bull Buster is there's a scene with a poor cow where it kicks Shamil, and he like punches it in the face, and you see it laying on the ground. It's kind of dazed. It's kind of like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer type of thing when he gets knocked out by the abominable. I can't even talk tonight. Abominable. Um, and so really, really enjoyed this one, even though I couldn't understand one bit of dialogue. And here's another funny thing: there were a couple of musical numbers when they were in some kind of club or whatever, listening to music, and it sounded like hippie-ish music. Again, keep in mind that this is early 70s, 1973, and the couple of songs were in English. Like this is just the weirdest thing ever. Yes, words are hard. They've been hard for me here lately a lot. So, but again, you guys and gals might be totally shocked at the rating I would give this one, being as I couldn't understand one stitch of dialogue. But I loved it as a comedy. I thought that Paul Smith and the other guy, I can't remember his name, worked really well together. I thought the comedy was great. And so I'm going to give this one 5 deadites out of 5. And it is on YouTube. And trust me, folks, you can watch this and not get the dialogue, not be able to understand the dialogue, and still get something out of it. Honestly, you really, really would. But again, I would love to watch an English dub or something with proper subtitles or something like that. So if anybody ever runs across it, either of those two ways, please let me know, because I would love to watch this one again. But I guess that's all from me. I usually don't have more than about 20 or so minutes talking about these movies. So I want to thank Blissful and anybody else that was just in here hanging out, for being in here with me tonight and joining me as I talked about Snake Fist Fighter and the Bull Buster. Keep in mind that tomorrow night will be another Cannon Fodder, and Thursday will be another They're All Messed Up. Thank you, Blissful. I appreciate that. And also remember, I forgot to tell everybody earlier that during any of my live streams, including watch alongs, if you give a $5 super chat or more, you can pick any movie of your choosing for me to review for Movie Roulette. There may be a Movie Roulette coming up on Friday. Yeah, Blissful, I'm not even going to, I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Yeah. But yeah, that was lame. But I guess that's it. And I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, folks. It's hump day tomorrow. We're halfway through the week. And you have a great night too, Blissful. And I will see everybody next time.